Hello, good morning to you. Time now for business. The Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, has indicated it is in talks with the China National Building Material Company over interest to be paid on a $2 billion facility. The funds are expected to help their members interested in undertaking projects under the One District, One Factory initiative. Even though the association is silent on the expected interest to be paid, it is believed that it could be more than 5%. President of the association, Dr. Yao Edijemfi, tells Joy Business they are pushing hard for a rate reduction.
We signed the MOU. The final agreement will be signed once we agree on the interest. And that will be done a month or two, it should be done. So definitely, of course, once all of us agree, the methodologies and the things that has to be done to get this done, I think we arrive at a better conclusion, and it will be done very soon.
How much interest have you, what's the percentage of interest have you agreed?
We haven't agreed yet.
Okay, so I'm fine to say that's what has been dragging.
That is what is dragging, and once we arrive at it, we'll be able to move forward.
How soon are you likely to?
It's between us. We are talking.
When is the next meeting with them?
The next meeting with them, next week we are meeting with them. They have representatives in Ghana. The office in the I1D1F office. So we are in constant collaboration with them, and we will arrive at something.
So the interest will be one of the major issues to be.
Exactly, and it will be done, because if you are going to pay higher interest, what is a bother? They must well stick with our own local banks. But we need a reasonable, with a long tenor, so that people can work and pay. It is not free money, it's a loan, and therefore we should be comfortable with what we are doing.
And in another development, Director of Finance and Administration of the Association of Ghana Industries, Nathan Kwakupom, says the One District, One Factory program would help strengthen the decentralization of printing companies across the country. Currently, many printing press businesses are located within urban settings. This situation does not augur too well for businesses located outside urban areas, as it poses additional cost for them to get their printing works done. In an interview at a ceremony in Accra to appreciate 50 years of distinguished service of William Esevi Texan, a printing industry player, the Director of Administration at the AGI also urged local printers to be focused and produce to meet quality standards in order to justify the policy of government to get all textbooks printed locally.
Most of the printing companies are heavily concentrated in the urban areas. I realize that quite a lot of businesses that are outside these urban areas travel to these places to have their printing works done. So we believe this One District, One Factory concept with the printing sector will help with some decentralization, such that companies that rely heavily on these printing works will have some factories set up at their respective districts, which are outside the regional capitals, so that they will also benefit from it and will save them the cost of always having to travel to the regional capitals and then the urban cities to have their printing works done. So it will help strengthen the decentralization of the respective printing companies, and we believe this is something laudable. Hitherto there was this challenge of everything being sourced outside, and it was affecting the printers. I sent that some of them who trained themselves to come out with some printing works do not have their products or what they really produce being patronized or being purchased. But with this direction, it has really increased their market share. It has also created employment. So we believe this is something which is very laudable. And we urge the industry players, the printers, to also remain very focused on the quality and standards to keep themselves still in business and be sustainable.
Now, the Ministry of Tourism and Culture and Arts, Catherine Afeku, is addressing media men at the Ministry of Information. Let's now cross over to the Ministry of Information for excerpts of her address.
Honorable Mike Gizo, the late Honorable Hawa Yakubu, Honorable Kwame Nabatels, the late Honorable Jake Otanka Obechebi Lamte, Honorable Stephen Asamoah Boateng, Honorable Mrs. Oboshisai Kofi, Honorable Juliana Azuma Mensah, Honorable Zita Okai, Mrs. Benson, Kua Senat Dansua, and to my immediate predecessor, Honorable Mrs. Elizabeth Ofosu Ajari, for what they have all achieved with the perennial and generally acknowledged ministerial shoestring budgets over the years. As most of you may know, The history is that the Ministry of Tourism has historically always been appendage to other ministries, such as Ministry of Trade and Industry and Ministry. In 1993, it became a full-fledged ministry on its own, but it was realigned in 2014, Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts. And recently, in 2017, it was renamed through an executive instrument, E11 Civil Service Instrument 2017, by His Excellency the President as Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, this policy directive seeks to provide a firm, stable policy environment for effective mainstreaming of Ghanaian arts and culture into all aspects of national life. This will ensure a strong revival of a vibrant creative economy to improve and advance the tourism, arts and culture industry. Now, I would like to share with you the vision of the ministry. The vision of our ministry is to develop sustainable tourism pivoted on Ghanaian culture and creative as a key to accelerated national development. Statement that I'd like to share with you. This ministry exists to create a conducive environment for sustainable growth and development of the sector to enable it to contribute enormously to GDP through effective and efficient use of appropriate policies, plans, programs, and projects. It is also to develop and sustain public-private partnerships with the diaspora and the people within the country for resource mobilization and investments. Now, the functions of our ministry. We are basically here planning, and international tourism, arts and culture, promulgation of legislation and regulations on tourism, arts and culture development, including investments and incentives. We conduct research into regional and global trends in tourism and culture, the development of the human resource within the private and public sectors to effectively promote tourism, arts and culture, the coordination and collaboration with other agencies and ministries, development partners.
Now, in other news, financial analyst Charles Mensah says the Bank of Ghana's caution against usage of cryptocurrencies until they become legal tender will not lead to a fall in their usage. The Bank of Ghana has cautioned against the use of digital currencies as a regulator works to establish guidelines for the usage. But Charles Mensah says though regulation is good, it is unlikely to impact transactions with cryptocurrencies.
As the use of the digital currency fast catches up globally, the Bank of Ghana has indicated it is looking at putting appropriate regulatory framework in place before it could be made a legal tender. Financial analyst Charles Mensah says the move to regulate is a good one.
Is anything that is not regulated, I'm sorry, would crash. And this is where we have to avert our mind to. It's not regulated. So if I mistakenly extend 3-4 bitcoins to you through the internet or via the digital currency, paying for a transaction, and I notice that I shouldn't have, or I made a mistake, there's no way I can get the money back because it is not reversible. And this is where it is serious. So if it's regulated and people have come in and said, okay, this is how we are going to regulate it, this is the limit that we are going to put on, then we are playing the game.
However, he added that the use of the currency is not likely to be affected once there is a high demand.
As long as one of the advantages of the Bitcoin is that identity is hidden. So anybody who does transactions now, he doesn't want his identity to be found, would use the Bitcoin. or anybody who does things that they really don't want people to poke their noses into it, they will go to Bitcoin. So as long as those demands are there, it means that people will demand the Bitcoin currency.
As the Bitcoin, for instance, gains much attention and being used across the world, governments will seek ways to control a medium of exchange that operates beyond their reach.
That's all in business for now. Come your way again with more business at midday. My name is Emmanuel Abuachi. Good morning.